Yellow. You guys, I'm in the garage because I'm going to upcycle a piece of furniture today, and that is the twin bed that's sitting over here. I love upcycling furniture because it's something that was gonna go in the garbage and I give it a whole new life. So that meaning is just so close to my heart. But this particular bed, I actually consider myself lucky to have found it completely free because my two kids share a room. Myra already has a twin size bed. Zayden is still in a crib, but he's so ready to graduate into a twin size bed. And I was actually on the hunt for a bed that would somewhat match what Myra already has so that the room is somewhat cohesive. And this bed comes really close. It is so close, like by the time I put the mattress and the bedding and everything on it, it might look like it's the exact same beds that we got for both of them. So that was kind of like the goal behind my search for a bed for him. I found this one. It needs to be cleaned up. It needs a coat of paint. So today we are going to do just that. I like to use these buckets as risers for whatever furniture I'm trying to paint because it helps keep them off the ground. So when I get in there with my spray painter, I can get all the angles, and it also allows it to dry. So when I want to flip them over, they're still getting some air. And I have like probably 10 of these, and I love that when I'm done they're stackable so I can use them next time and they don't take too much space. But if you were working on a project like this and you wanted some kind of riser, you could just use cardboard boxes that you have around the garage just to raise the furniture off the ground. That way you don't have to invest in something if you don't do this all the time like I do. Step one in painting a piece of furniture and getting like a really nice professional finish is cleaning. The furniture has to be like really clean, no dust, no grease, nothing. So this bed doesn't have any kind of grease on it, but it is dusty, and for this I use like a Clorox spray cleaner. My kids peeled off the cover from here. It's just like a house cleaner, like Clorox house cleaner. So I spray this everywhere, and then I'll use a towel or a rag, whatever you want to use, and I use this brush to clean any like sharp corner where dust might be in there, just to get it out, because when I use my sprayer I'm trying to get paint everywhere, and if there's dust left over in any tiny like cracks, it's gonna stop the paint from adhering. So I love this brush. I actually got this from the dollar store. It came with the kit. It was like a kit of 3, and the difference between 3 is like how hard these are. This is the softest one. As you can see, it's still pretty hard. The other 2 are even harder, like they're made out of metal, and so they are really good for like scraping something off, but I like this one for cleaning dust out of like hard to reach spaces. Okay, step 2 is we sand. And I want to talk about sanding just a little bit because you almost don't have to do it in this case. Because the bed is clean and it's in good condition and I'm using this primer, technically I don't have to sand. But I will for the purpose of this video, and I want to explain to you why you would sand something like this and what are the benefits behind it. Because I want to go quick, I'm using my sander. This sandpaper is 120, so it's not the roughest, but it's not gentle either. And the idea behind sanding is that you want to scratch the surface just a little bit so that the paint has a place to adhere to. And because we just want like a surface that's like just a little bit rough, we don't have to go in all the little corners. So I'm gonna go really quick over the main surfaces, and mostly you would do this in the surfaces that you would use heavily. For example, if you were painting a table, you might want to sand the top really good because the top is going to be used a lot, but not so much on the legs. Okay, a couple of more notes about sanding is whenever you sand, and we are gonna sand a few times throughout this process, you always have to wipe, because any dust that comes out of the sanding needs to be wiped away in order for the next step to be correct. The other thing is I am painting on wood, so this wood is just stained, or it has like that wood color covering. But if I was painting on paint, I would want to sand it down all the way to remove the old paint. Again, technically you could paint over the old paint if you had a good primer, but that's just not gonna give you the best finish. This is my paint sprayer. I will use it to prime and paint, and this is an unpopular opinion. So many people say you cannot prime in here, or it's not good to prime in here. I disagree in some cases, not like all the time, and I could make a whole video about how to use this and why I like to prime in it sometimes. And if you guys want that video, just let me know in the comments and I'll plan it in my content. This is the Finish Max Super. I specifically tell you which one it is because they have a few different versions, and in my opinion this is the best one. I will also link it for you. My favorite primer. This primer will block any stains, which is not the case here, but if you had stains, this primer would block it, and it also helps the paint adhere to the surface like really good, like really good. All right, the bed is fully primed. While I let the primer dry some more, I want to explain like the whole painting process. So you can take notes or save this video, but I swear to God, this formula I'm gonna share with you is like the best formula for the best finish, like as if you bought the furniture brand new. So you clean, wipe, prime, lightly sand, and I say lightly sand, and that's like really important. This is a 220 sanding block that, as you can see, has been beaten up, but that's like exactly what you want, because when you sand between layers, you don't want to like scratch the paint that you just applied. You just want to like smooth up the surface before you apply the next layer. So I prime, very light sand, wipe, one coat of paint, very light sand, wipe. Then I do another coat of paint, which is the last one, and I don't sand after that, and I swear it's so good. Now that the priming is done, I'm gonna clean out my sprayer from the primer, put whatever primer is left over back in the can, and fill it up with the paint and get it ready. So as soon as the primer is done and I give it that coat of sand and wipe, we can apply the paint. First coat of paint. First coat of paint is all dried up, and it's time to do a light coat of sand. Second coat of paint going on now. Success. It's all done. I can't believe it. It looks really good. It's kind of hard to see because of the sun, or maybe you can. I can't see because of the sun. It just needs to dry now, and then I'm gonna take it inside. It is getting pretty late today for me to take his room apart and put this together, so I'll probably put it together tomorrow. I forgot to mention the type of paint that I used for the bed. So this is it right here. Basically, whenever I paint any kind of furniture, I like to use paint that is made for cabinet doors or trim. I don't think the brand matters, to be honest. I've tried so many and they're all great. I just think that the quality of the paints that are made for cabinets are the best quality, and that's what you need for furniture, because they kind of have like a self-leveling element to it, I guess, and it just it goes on so much more smoother. And I always use a sprayer when I paint something like this, but if you were using a brush, this would be the paint that will give you the least visible strokes with the brush, versus if you use like regular paint, you'll probably see a lot more brush strokes. It's day 2. I walked out in the garage this morning and the bed was sitting there looking so good, so clean, so white, so bright. I'm in his room now. This is his crib. I'm gonna take it apart and bring in the new bed so you guys can see it, and I'm gonna set it up for him. I am almost done, but as I was putting the bed together, I discovered that I actually didn't get enough slats with the bed when I got it. I checked online at Lowe's and they sell this exact piece of wood, so it's like, this is considered 1 inch by 3 inch, except it comes in like an 8 feet long piece, and the 8 feet long piece is like $250. So I ordered like 4 pieces. I'm gonna go pick them up and then I'm just gonna cut them, you know, to this length. I just picked up the order. I love how they wrapped all 4 of them together, so I can just measure and cut all of them at once. I think I have to make 2 cuts, like 1, 2, and I'll have some small pieces left over. I can't believe he has a big boy bed. I'm gonna cry. Okay, it's time to show you Myra's bed, just so you guys could see the similarity. Okay, this is the bed we worked on and it looks great. And this is the back of it. And this is Myra's bed. And look, you see that curved design with the 2 pillars? That's kind of like what I was going for. Now there is like one thing that's kind of like bothering me, is Myra's bed is a lot lower than his bed now, and I feel like just visually coming in the room, it would make sense if the taller bed was in the back and the shorter one was here. Also, because he's younger, he's more likely to fall off the bed. It would make sense if he had the bed that was lower, but Myra loves her spot, so what I have to do at a later time is swap the beds, so the lower one can come here and it becomes his bed, and then the new one would go here and it becomes her bed. But that's a project for another day. Overall, the room needs some more upgrades, like the decor doesn't match their linens and the rug is really old and their closet is a big hot mess. So in the near future, I plan to give this room a refresh to make it more cohesive, and when I do, I promise to vlog it and share it with you. That's it for today's video. I hope this inspires you to upcycle some furniture or upgrade something in your home. And as always, if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments and I promise to get back to you. I'll say bye for now and I'll see you later. Bye!